All right, let's go. Another Monday, another live stream, and we're not quite done with that HEX, with that PulseChain community, blockchain, network, whatever you want to call it. We're not done, but we are shifting gears. Let's hop right into it. Look at that, the 4-hour BTC chart, just as we always do. Welcome in, everybody. Congrats to CCP getting a free membership. I always love to see that. And thank you to Melissa. CCP cracks me up every time he's here, and it never quits. Says, will you marry me? I got 0.1 BTC. That's a good proposition, Melissa. I mean, who knows? Who knows what that 0.1 BTC might be worth in the future? Let's raise our crypto IQ and see if we can determine what that is going to be worth. Anyways, BTC, 4-hour chart, where we always love to start the show. Let's talk about it a little bit. So I got this kind of in a zoom out mode because I kind of wanted you guys to see this. And what I really wanted to highlight is actually over here. Over here. Okay, everybody's looking at it? Good. Follow the bounce and ball. So this is the VRVP, right? Visual range volume profile. Took me forever to memorize what the heck it actually was. And let's take a look. There's a big gap here. So that basically means that there's high price point action up here and a lot of price point action here and not a lot in between. So if we can get up into, say, this area here, it will be a pretty quick move to this area here. And if we can hold this area here, then we can go higher. That's basically the idea. It's just a volume range, and they make it visual profile, right? I think everybody follows that. Now, one thing I do kind of see here that I've been saying for a while is this inverted head and shoulder. I like that. I think we'll put a measured move for that inverted head and shoulder. Let's throw a measured move, and we'll just kind of keep it up. Look how that lines up. Let's see. Let's put all of the visual range volume profile, VRVP. Basically, if I put more candles in it, it'll incorporate them. If I take more candles away, it'll take that out of the data set, right? Anyways, regardless, that pretty much gets you up to that high volume node or high volume area. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's zoom in a little bit though, right? Let's take a little bit more of a zoomed in stance. We've been saying for a hot minute here that we were above the 200, the red line, 200 daily moving average, and the 21 daily moving average. Most of you are lifers, so most of you know exactly what I'm talking about. We dumped pretty hard today from like 65 down to like 64, 63, 800. And it's losing that 200. Is it the most concerning thing right this moment? Not really. VRVP, stochastic RSI, I mean, is bottoming out and things. So we could see some movement. We do have this right here. Can anybody tell me what this is? Anybody? Can anybody tell me what these two lines mean when you draw them on the bottom of the candles and on your RSI? J-Dub, welcome in. I know you came in through a lot of the stuff we were doing around HEX and PulseChain, so you're going to love the continued series on Richard Hart. And I literally hadn't even got there yet, but we're about to get there. We're about to initiate this show real quick and do our intro and just tell everybody what we're going to be talking about, right? So everybody knows what this week's going to be all about. It is a continuation. Yo, CCP is snapping. No use it to pay those bills. And besides, you really want to marry an old lady? It's all, we don't know. We have no idea. What are you considering old? Because a girl will tell you she's an old lady and she'll be like 37. And another one will tell you that she's an old lady and she'll be like 67. All right, there's a stark contrast between those two numbers. Trend line. Yes, they are trend lines for sure, but they're two. Okay. Hey, J-Dub is on it. All right. So they are trend lines, but there's a trend line here at the bottom of your candles and a trend line at your RSI. Together, we can find divergence. So when they're on the bottom that's bullish. And when we draw them at the top, that's bearish. And we're looking for divergence. So this is bullish divergence so far. Now, it can draw down more, right? These white candles that are normally red, but I changed the color, they could draw down to the point where they would drastically change. You know, see how those are no longer going in different directions? In the yellow line there, I'm just simulating more white candles, right? But see how that changes, and there's no longer divergence. But until that happens, you got a long time. You could get all the way down here and still have divergence. This is hidden bullish divergence. And 90% of the time, it says you're going to break these highs up here before you break these lows down there. That's the whole point of some hidden bullish divergence. Anyways, just wanted to let everybody know that. Let's do the intro to the show. What are we going to be talking about this week? I know nobody looked at the thumbnail, right? Anybody look at the thumbnail? Will Underground be my best man or the crypto priest that marries us? Hey, either one. You tell me which one you want me to do. I'll go get a marriage license. I hear it's not that hard to do. I'm not in my 30s. Add 20 more years to that number. All right. Well, we don't know how old CCP is. CCP could be right there with you. Who knows? I don't know. CCP is very conspicuous, right? We don't know how old CCP is. All right. So last week, let's get into the intro, or I will just talk and never do it. CCP he's so, dude, you're so funny, man. I love it. He says anything under 500 is good with me. Hey, he's not picky. He's not picky. It might be a match made in heaven. Hey, you both love crypto. Huh? There's that. So last week, we took apart HEX and PulseChain ecosystem. We examined how HEX staking works and why PulseChain copied Ethereum stake. How PulseX generates fees and what users need to understand before they start bridging assets. This week, we're shifting away from the machinery to the person whose identity still influences almost every conversation around that machinery. Anybody look at the thumbnail? Somebody went back and looked at the thumbnail. Richard Hart. I'm not like a Richard Hart maxi, but I definitely don't dislike the guy. I just find him extremely interesting. So very few crypto founders create reactions as strong as Richard Hart. And here's the real question. Is Richard Hart really like that 24/7? Or is he just a literal marketing genius? I don't know. And I mean, is it genius? You could take, for example, somebody like Andrew Tate. You know, is all of that controversy genius press, right? Free press all the time? Or does it come with some significant drawbacks and drawdowns? I mean, he is in jail again, being, you know, probably extradited to Europe. So I think being the hottest, you know, target is not always the greatest thing. CCP says, I'm going to be 96 soon. Snapping. CCP says, we both love money. I mean, you really dwindling them down, aren't you? Says, wow, you cutting it short, aren't you? You're too funny, dude. I love when you come here. I really do. Please keep coming back to the stream, CCP, because we need you here. Your comedic relief is gold. All right. And I'm glad you got that membership. And don't forget about those custom emojis. They should be in your emoji bar. So very few crypto founders create reactions as strong as Richard Hart, right? To supporters, Richard Hart delivered functioning products, challenged the cryptocurrency establishment, you can't say he didn't, and built a community that survived years of criticism. He did. Whether you like him or not, he did that. So to his critics, his extreme claims, luxury-focused image, and confrontational marketing makes it difficult to trust anything connected to him. Now, that's what his critics would say. I'm not saying that. Tonight, we are not deciding whether Richard Hart is a hero or a villain. That's not the point. We like to stay very neutral, put the facts on the table. He's not my uncle, okay? So it doesn't really matter if I love or hate him because it's not very relevant. I would like to know how everything falls into place, how all the puzzle pieces connect, all the blocks are stacked in the crypto space. So you got to have a neutral, objective point of view to do that. And that's when we're beginning with the most useful questions. Like, can we separate our opinion from the founder, from our evaluation of the product, the token, and the community, right? I could honestly, and I'm not saying this is a fact because I don't know, that's why we're deep diving, I could love Richard Hart and everything he says and then look at his products and decide for myself I don't like them, or vice versa. I could look at his products that he built and decide this stuff is great and then decide I don't like. I can, for me personally, some people can't do this, and I think it's a huge flaw for people. I'm not black and white. I can look at things and like something and not like something and not have to hate one thing or the other. All right. Hopefully you share that ability to use that muscle inside your skull. J-Dub says he's been very quiet. He has. See, I remember when Richard Hart was very loud. He has been quiet, which is why I thought this bringing this up and doing this deep dive, I thought would be a lot of fun, because there's a lot of like where we were with Richard Hart and where is he now? Has he said anything much lately? I really don't know, because like I don't live in an echo chamber of like PulseChain HEX maximalism. If you do, that's great. Like I have no problem with that. I just look at a much broader picture and I'm not so dialed in. Some people only look at XRP and XLM and they don't really look at anything else. I like to look at everything, right? I like to put all the cards down on the table and see where they are. He says marketing wise from 2023 now, probably going to change soon though. Yeah, because we're going to get into that, right? Because we also have an important current regulatory development. The Senate failed to vote on the Clarity Act before leaving for August recess. Now, this is very weird, right? This is a lot of the dishonesty that goes on in politics. Shocker. I know. Somebody out there. I know it's CCP too. He's like, dishonesty in politics. Never saw that one coming. Didn't have that on my bingo card this year. What a revelation. Anyways, they're all taking victory laps because they kind of like stopped a vote for the Clarity Act, and then they're like acting like it's dead. Let me tell you something. They think you're dumb. They do. They absolutely think you're dumb. They think that they're smart, yada, yada, yada. They stopped a vote on the Clarity Act before they went on a recess, aka a break, aka a paid vacation on the taxpayers' dime. Because what were they doing before? Sitting in chairs in the air conditioning, thinking really hard? Like, get back to work, guys. We pay you way too much money in the first place. Anyways, I won't get into that. But what I will say is that they're taking victory laps like they killed the bill. The bill is not killed, all right? But they're going to act like it is, because a lot of people aren't smart enough to know that they're in a recess right now. Most people don't keep track of the Senate's schedule, which is understandable. We got to keep track of our own schedules, and that's kind of enough for most of us, right? And I get that. But they're in a recess right now. The bill was not considered dead, right? The bill was not voted down. It is not officially dead. A procedural vote is expected in September. Wow. When the truth comes out, it's rather boring. There will be a procedural vote in September, but the delay means crypto projects could continue operating without the clear statutory, right, framework, regulatory framework, if you will, if you don't recognize that word. The industry has spent years demanding this, and they're just stalling. They're just doing some more stalling. That means this week's subject is even more relevant than ever, though. So this is going to be a week very much about Richard Hart, right? But in HEX and PulseChain and all that jazz, it's a continuation from last week's series. Man, two things I got to say. One, missed you guys a ton on Sunday. Man, if I didn't have so much to do, I really am considering going back to doing a Sunday stream, because I really miss doing the stream. I'm addicted to learning and raising my crypto IQ. I learned, and that leads me into my next point that I really wanted to say before we get into the quote of the day, is that I learned a ton last week. I really, really did. Had a great time hanging out with you guys, and I learned a ton. That's a win. That's a victory lap for me in what I set out to do and what I set out to build. And on top of that, today we had a great day in the trenches, and we made some great gains on pump.fun. So I'm riding high on life right now, doing all the things that I enjoy doing. When lawmakers have not clearly defined the rules, the statements, promises, and influence of individual founders become even more important, because they're not giving us what is and isn't allowed. So it's kind of up to people's interpretations for now. Struggle Heart says, I know I am dumb. Hey, I doubt you're dumb. A lot of people say that, and they're usually secretly some of the smartest people. A lot of people play dumb. So I'm on to you, Struggle Heart. I'm on to you. The first principle is that you must not fool yourself. And you're the easiest person to fool. Hey, when Struggle Heart just said, I know I'm dumb. The first principle is don't fool yourself. You might be fooling yourself, telling yourself that. And you're the easiest person to fool. So, unfortunately, you might even believe that. But we're going to raise that crypto IQ. You're not dumb, Struggle Heart. The warning applies equally to Richard Heart supporters and critics. Conviction can make us rationalize uncomfortable evidence, while dislike can make us reject evidence that does not support our conclusion. Let me say that again for the person in the back who just rolled in. Smash that like button, by the way. I appreciate you rolling in and sitting in the back. The warnings here equally apply to both Richard Heart supporters and critics. But above and beyond this topic that we're on today, I want to say this. Conviction can make you rationalize uncomfortable evidence. You can look at problems and red flags and act like they're not there because you have so much conviction. While at the same time, your dislike for somebody or something can make us reject evidence that does not align with our conclusion that we've already decided. We've decided, a project is going to do extremely well. It's going to be the next, gold. It's going to be the next dollar. It's going to be the globalist elite dollar that runs the world. Whatever you've decided, and you can't see the red flags that, they're bankrupt and they're about to go under. And you just keep pouring every paycheck into it. And you get mollywopped. The word of the day, mollywop. Some people just get mollywopped. Some people don't even know what mollywopped means. I think it's up to interpretation, right? Now, you may not know this. The official HEX website doesn't hide its strategy. It describes HEX is using aggressive marketing, and it says its primary design intention was to appreciate and value as quickly and highly as possible. I think it did a good job of that at first. The same website argues that HEX is better than Bitcoin. Shots fired. This is the type of stuff we're really going to get into with Richard Heart. And I'm going to have some probably videos queued up for about the middle of the show for tomorrow's show. I think I'll do it tomorrow, or we'll do it Wednesday. Of some of the hottest takes from Richard Heart. That's going to be a lot of fun. So the website argues that HEX is better than Bitcoin, and that ownership concentration can benefit price appreciation, and that traditional roadmap is unnecessary, and that being described as a cult is not automatically negative for price action. I don't know what's on my microphone. Look at Trench. Okay. 1 second. I should have a cutscene, right? No worries about attending the stream. He's not here, so I guess he wouldn't hear that. We're still trenching live. We're going to be bringing some of this stuff to the stream for sure. I just myself have got to kind of not master it, but I got to just get a little more used to doing it all the time. Am I late to this? This just dumped so hard. Might be a great time to buy some. All right, we'll be with you in just 1 second. And we're back. So HEX is designed as an immutable smart contract. Its official documentation argues that the contract would continue operating even if its website disappeared, or if Richard Heart died. Now, it says this on their website. I'm not going there on purpose. That makes technical dependency and social dependency two totally different questions. The SEC, though, filed serious allegations against Heart in 2023. They did it to CZ. They've done it to everybody. They've done it to XRP. They've done it to everybody. But a federal judge actually dismissed the case in 2025 after finding insufficient connections between the alleged conduct and the United States. And the SEC declared later declined to amend its complaint. Like, they had an opportunity to kind of amend their complaint to keep it going, and they didn't. Allegations, dismissal, and factual findings must be discussed separately. And I want to say that this, in my opinion, really adds to the Richard Hart lore. Like, you got to appreciate the Richard Hart lore, like, a little bit, right? Like, you got to appreciate the fact that he is such a polarizing character, and then the SEC tried to go after him, and all of his haters, all of his haters are like, he's such a horrible person, all he does is crime, they're gonna, put him underneath the jail, they're gonna bury him underneath the prison, and it got dismissed, and the SEC decided they didn't even want to continue the case by amending, right? And so, is he a genius? Did he do everything right? Or did they just, like, not have what they needed to really come after him? That is the question. Let me get you over to what I'm looking at. Let's talk about the Clarity Act real quick before we go over into the crypto bubbles. Dun, dun, dun. Click the right thing. Hopefully, gonna click the right thing. All right, there we go. So let's talk about the Clarity Act, right? What happened? Because they're saying a lot of things here, and we don't really know what exactly is true or not true. The House previously passed the Clarity Act with bipartisan support. That's the House. If you don't live in America, you haven't seen the cartoon with the bill on the step and stuff, and so you might not understand any of those things. That's understandable. The Senate was expected to continue working towards a vote, but negotiations were not completed before the Senate left for August recess. They went to the playground, guys. They went to the playground for recess. All right. And they're all swinging on the swings and playing tag and not freaking working. And who knows when they're coming back. Like, they just take a month off. Like, they're not important characters who have stuff to do. They just take a couple of weeks off and go on your private jets or whatever you do. Senate Majority Leader, though, John Thune, filed for procedural vote when the Senate returns. That vote is expected to happen on September 15th. So if you get on Twitter and they start doing victory laps and talking about how they killed the bill, just know those people are highly dishonest. And if you didn't already know that, you heard it here first. Make sure I get some credit. Therefore, the accurate description is the Clarity Act failed to pass before they took a break. All right, they had a vacation scheduled on their calendar, and they just didn't get to it, right, before they went on vacation, right? But it doesn't mean they still don't have to vote on it. So it's not defeated in the Senate floor vote. And I've heard so many people who are senators trying to take victory laps saying that they killed the bill. And they know that the attention is so low that by the time September 15th rolls around and they actually take a vote on it, everybody's already going to forget that they made those videos. And they're not even going to hold them accountable, except for a very small amount of people in some kind of, I don't want to call them an echo chamber, but a small amount of people who will be saying, hey, I thought you said you killed it. And nobody will listen to those people, right? The remaining disagreement reportedly includes this: ethics in government official cryptocurrency interest, stable coin rewards in competition with banks. The only person who's concerned about stable coins and rewards being in competition with banks is, you guessed it, flip over your bingo card, it's banks. They're the only people who care about that. Anti-laundering requirements, which is no problem for people to comply with, just like anybody else. DeFi protections, the division of authority between the SEC and the CFTC. They're infighting between who's going to get to carry out the lawsuits and who's going to get to rake in the money. That's what that's about. Whether enough senators support ending debates and advancing the bill. The bill may require at least 60 votes to clear procedural obstacles. Why does any of this matter? Why are we even talking? Why are we taking such a long intro to say this? We could be talking about Richard Hart. Well, the legislation attempts to answer questions that the industry has fought over for years. If you're new here, just know that regulation and crypto companies and projects not knowing if they're doing things right, wanting to do things legally and not knowing if they are or not is not new, right? This is a common issue. So So we want to see it resolved so that we can move on in the United States. When a digital asset is a commodity, it would be nice to know if it was or wasn't. When a security law applies, it'd be nice to know if those laws apply or don't apply. When a network becomes sufficiently decentralized, does that change anything? Where and when does that matter? Which regulatory oversees spot trading, right? Is it the CFTC or the SEC? What obligations belong to exchanges and intermediaries? And how should DeFi software be treated? Because the Senate postponed actions, these questions remain partly dependent on agency rules. Basically the way it's already going. Individual court cases and enforcement decisions. And the problem here for our story point, where we're going to pick up, is Richard Heart conversations usually collapse into two competing identities. And if you want to know what those competing identities are, you need to stick around. We're going to raise your crypto IQ about Richard Heart, because who knows, you might find yourself in a heated debate with somebody about Richard Heart, or, you know, who are the polarizing people in crypto? Richard Heart, Charles Hoskin, maybe BitBoy. There is a lot of, I wouldn't say there's a lot, but there are definitely a few highly controversial figures out here in the crypto landscape. Trying to get back to the chat so I can see. All right, look at the trench. I did that. Hey, Melissa, did you get into that coin? What is it called? Todd. Did you get into Todd? If you're watching Todd and it like gets above like 15K, can you let me know? Again, I highly appreciate you. You don't have to do that. All right, let's talk about some crypto bubbles. Let's toggle that 1 through 1,000. We looked at the 4-hour BTC chart, so we already know we're taking a little bit of a dump, right? It's a couple $1,000s, which is not crazy for Bitcoin, but it's still it's a meaningful dump. All right, it's a decent percentage. The word I'm really looking for is not coming to me. I appreciate you, Melissa. Thank you. So 1 through 100. Red, a little bit of green here through the next ones. 1%, 1.7% negative, 6 to 700. To me, the value is here. You can quickly toggle in 100 category, 1 through 1,000. These are the most high in market cap coins in crypto. So they make up, you got to think, if you were to put the percentage of all the money in crypto. So everything past 1,000, everything, like literally everything that is a on blockchain minted coin. The 1 through 1,000 is going to be a high percentage, probably something like 80, 85, 90 or more percent of the entire market is in this top 1,000. So if I can quickly look at 1 through 1,000 in 100 sections and just kind of overview the market, look, 7 to 800 is up 4.7%. This EURR just doing whatever it's doing. I don't know what it's doing. It's up 621%. Are you able to buy this thing? Because I tell you, when this thing crashes, I would throw $50 in it. Because it just seems like it goes, what is this? 0.09 to 64 cents. Right? And then it went to 0.095 to 54 cents. Then it went to 0.0958 to as high as 72 cents. These are crazy gains. Something tells me this is in somebody's private ledger or something. You're not able to buy it. It must be, because this is ridiculous. How would you even go up and down like that? Who's pulling hundreds of millions of dollars in and out of this project? Okay, it's only at $11 million. It's like the same person keeps pulling $10 million out and putting $10 million in or something like that. How are we getting these straight up and down, very square, stair-step-ish looking price action? Enough of that, though. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If not, ask in the chat, and I might explain it to you. Beat is, I gotta do it. Beat is very beat up right now. It's at 54.7%. I don't know why it's so hard for me not to make that joke, but it is down. Big red bubble here. ICP, though, up 8% to what? I have a little bit, so I need to see it. $2.36. Still probably underwater, but about break even for that project. Curve. It's funny, you try to buy things at extremely low prices, and then like somehow they just keep going lower, and you're just like, whoa. All right, let's drop down. I don't think we're going to need to spend a ton of time here. Tibber, Cards, Cash Cat, Build On, getting a nice little pump back up. Sysic, for whatever reason, Bless, Sysic, Grass, like Go Mining. These type of projects have been getting a lot of attention lately. Not a ton of money necessarily. Not astronomical parabolic pumps. Although Sysic has done pretty well. 330% in the month and 366% in the week. But it's just getting a lot of attention, and I'm wondering what that is about. Build On, we saw, got just absolutely demolished for some time here. Let's go to the weekly. It's up 45% on the month, but we had a nice high of 25 cents, followed by a low of like 14 cents, right? So there is that. And Tibber, 15.5%. For those who don't know, Tibber is is Ribbit or Ribbita backwards, basically, is what it is. Well, Todd is just dumping. Give me 1 second, guys. I got to be able to do multiple things at the same time. Copy text. All right, let me hop in the next coin here for the trenches. Ooh, this thing is already so high. It's dipping. It's already at 18. Don't worry, guys. Just slight distraction. I'm not leaving. Camsta in the house. What's up, Camsta? Camsta, do you like Richard Hart? Tell us. We're gonna base our opinion off of your opinion. He might not even know who Richard Hart is. DOS or Dapos. I don't know what that is, but it's up 75%. Ansem, Nexum, and SQD up a little bit today. Tutorial, we talked about this. This was a coin that was launched as a literal tutorial on how to launch coins, and it's just historical, and people like to pump it. It's pretty funny. I'm surprised they didn't delete it, but I don't know if you can delete a coin after you launch it, so I guess they're immutable, right? Let's go take a look at our price rundown of the day. We're going to do it as fast as possible. Not as fast as possible. We're going to do it quickly. 2.27 trillion, down 0.4% for the overall market cap. BTC, $63,992. Ethereum, $1,874. We're having a bit of a drawdown, so if we got some green on the 7-day, that's a good thing. BNB, $599. I like to see it above 600 in this local area, and we just lost it, so we were just getting somewhere. Hopefully we get a nice bounce in the next day or two, right? So then we got let's see, XRP at 101. Love to see that. Holding above $1, but can it continue to hold above $1? I think it depends on if we have another day of bearishness or if tomorrow turns around and gives us a bounce. Solana up 3% in the last 7 days as of right now. $75.83. Hyperliquid $54.84. Getting a little bit of a climb in the right direction here. Hyperliquid probably at a decent buy-in unless we have a drastically lower price for Bitcoin in this bear market. Let's see. Dogecoin just falling under 7 cents. HBAR's probably in the same boat. For some reason, those two have been very close in price. Monero, $396, up 10% in the last 7 days, while Zcash kind of lagging behind. It's worth more money, but it's not up as much. $492, 2.5% to the upside in the last 7 days. Cardano had been on a little bit of a tear, but it's starting to give it back, right? Went as high as about 20 cents. You're sitting right at 19, about to fall under 19. If you look at the 7-day chart above my head here, you will see that. Chainlink, $8.34. XLM, 16 cents. Canton Network, 0.098, almost 10 cents. Getting right to where I want to scoop a bag. So we'll continue to think of that. 3.8 billion. It's a high market cap. If I scoop a bag of this, it's super low risk in my book. But then again, everything in crypto has more risk than like the stock market. So you got to manage your risk in your understanding, raise that crypto IQ. So Litecoin is $45. HBAR, about the same as Dogecoin, 0.067, down a little bit on the 7-day, 4.3%. Avalanche, $6.48. Sweet at 68 cents, which is good because I didn't quite get to buy a little bit more of that yet. I keep getting distracted. I really do get distracted with all the things I have to do, and I mean to go deploy capital, and it can take me way too long to deploy some capital sometimes. MemeCore, $1.10, 1.4 billion. Just hanging above $1 will be good for me right now. Start losing that dollar for MemeCore, I will start getting concerned. Same thing with XRP. Let's go to our trending coins. We got Dapos. I don't know what Dapos is. I'll be interested to take a look at that. Pump.fun, Pudgy Penguins. You should know those two. Tutorial, I just explained on BNB. There was a video made. I believe there was a video where the guy made a tutorial on how to launch a coin on the BNB network, the Binance Smart Chain network, for those who don't know. And it was called Tut, and it was called Tutorial. They dug that thing out from the grave, and they're pumping it because it's great lore. And if you don't understand just meme coin culture and stuff, then you wouldn't understand why this is so like monumental. Everybody would have seen this and been like, let's pump it. Ethereum, $1,875. I don't know why I told you that again. We're doing what's trending, not the price rundown. Ethereum, Maucat, or Mau. It's probably worth taking a look at, see what ecosystem that's in. And some Sysic again, Ondo, Cashcat, Cadio, or Cadio, and Hyperliquid. I never know if I'm saying any of these things right, so bear with me there. All right, so it's at 40 cents. Market cap is 81 million. Tokenomics $1 billion with only 200 million in circulating supply. So that's like 20% in circulating supply. So there you go. Max chart, let's see what that says. Max chart is August 9th. So yesterday this thing came out, but what is it? Artificial intelligence AI application. It's got the Binance Alpha Spotlight. It's an Ethereum contract. BNB Smart Chain contract. Let's go take a look at their website. It's AI. That's the first most important thing you need to know. Web3 AI operating system. Dapos is a Web3 AI company building a suite of AI products designed to put powerful AI in everyone's hands without the learning curve. Stop promoting, start getting results. Xbubble turns simple requests into finished work through SOP-powered AI agent built and tested by Bubble Engine. I mean, what is Bubble Engine? It's just somebody's proprietary name for whatever they built, I guess. AI SOP agent. SOP. I don't know exactly what it stands for. It's a phone app. The SOP system behind Xbubble. Bubble Pilot handles runtime batch, routing each task, best fit SOP. Bubble Engine continuously generates tests and improves SOP library behind the scenes, turning plain language goals into reliable execution. I didn't see if did Camps ever tell us? Oh, okay, let's see. He said, "Who is Richard Hart?" I hope you're going to stick around this week's series. You're going to know who he is by the end of this series, that's for sure. He says, sounds like a good guy. Richard the Lionheart was too. There you go. Or was it William the Lionheart? I'm pretty sure it was William, but we'll roll with Richard the Lionheart. And then Chocolate Salty says, Richard is the one that was prophesized. So Chocolate Salty is very bullish on Richard Hart. That's what I just learned. Powerful intent execution network. Anytime you're dealing with these things, intention is a very good understanding to have. We've talked about intention a lot. An intention network, right? Intention-orientated infrastructure where I give you what I want and you figure out how to do it. Not my problem. That's the idea of intent. I give you an intention. You figure out how to make it happen. Very, very convenient for us humans to not have to worry about how it happens, to just say, hey, make it happen. And that is DOS. We know it to be Ethereum and Binance ecosystem. What else do I want to say about it? Not a lot of is out in the circulating supply, so it could hold up a nice number with only 200 million circulating supply. But the question kind of becomes, how long is it going to only have 200 million? When do more coins come out? That is the question. So you have like 800 million coins kind of looming over your head until you at least get some kind of answer as to when those coins come out in the circulation. So we're going to keep an eye on that project. I'm not buying just yet, but I'll keep an eye on it. So Malcat, when it comes to these type of meme coins and stuff, the first thing I just kind of want to look at is what ecosystem Robinhood. So I'm not even going to get into the whole Robinhood meme coins and stuff like that, but just know that they had a chance to really ride high into the sunshine, and the launch pads where you launch the coins themselves, they messed it up. Was it their fault? You know, one thing I want to say, it's funny that Prime Minister's not here because I would love to get his opinion on this because I think I already know what he would say. But what was the big mess up with Caspa? It was their KRC20s. Well, what is the when a network first gets its ability to launch coins, what are the first coins that get launched? Super serious projects that have been waiting for them so that they could build? No. It's meme coins. And so KRC20s were going to come out, and they were already making meme coins over there, right? And so it kind of makes me wonder, did Caspa get sabotaged because they were going to pull a bunch of liquidity from other launch pads into KRC20s? At least for a period of time, they would, for sure. And then you had the exact same issue with Robinhood. And so this is what I want everybody to pay attention to. When a new blockchain ecosystem comes out or is highly relevant, and they're about to have smart contracts, and there's about to be coins launched, if not mostly meme coins, pay attention to how they get sabotaged. And that's I'm going to leave it right there. Just pay attention, because I don't think it's an accident. Fear and Greed Index, the number that should be in the back of your mind, is 29. It's 29, the guy. Did you have that? Did you win the bingo? All right, yesterday was 30. We didn't stream yesterday. 7 days ago was 25. A month ago was 26. So Fear and Greed Index, 29 today. Put it in the back of your mind. Look at that. Is Noma on the radar? Dang, that just dropped hard. Everything dropping hard. I've had a really good day over on Pump.Fun. What's going on? All the liquidity leaving? So we got DAPOS, or DAP operating system. That's actually what it is. For Venus, which I don't know what that is, but it's 5.8 years old, so it's probably not highly relevant right this second. Wicked Cat is a meme coin. Anoma is down 40%. Why? Why do they hate Anoma so much? I've seen so many projects that don't have even a little bit of the attention in the marketing and the product, and they don't have any of it, and they just pump to the moon. Like every meme coin, like Cash Cat. But Anoma, which has good ideas, just always getting crapped on. What is that about? So we got XST, Book of Memes, ChainGPT. All right, watch out for ChainGPT. See what happens to its, KRC20s. They'll probably be called the same thing because it's ChainGPT. Banana for Scale, Raven coin, popular mining coin there. Been around for a long time, 8.4 years. Baby Dogecoin, the COAI, we've seen this thing pump and dump a lot. Polymesh, Kinetic Gold, Constitutional DAO, ticker People, has been around for 4.7 years. I remember they were trying to get enough money to buy the Constitution. I don't think the government was ever going to let them do that. Aztec, Alt Layer, Tutorial, and Cap. Now, there's a couple I'd like to talk about here. Or there was, I thought. We already talked about DApp operating system. ChainGPT. I'd like to talk about ChainGPT. Let's do that real quick. All right. ChainGPT is an app chain building the future of finance in emerging markets. Raised $21 million in an ICO that I'm pretty sure is ongoing, right? Yep, it's got another couple of days here. Looks like Echo is giving all the money. And let's go look at their website. ChainGPT, a new chain, right, to pay attention to. The new era of FX and payments. Oh, everybody's so focused on stablecoin rails and payments. It's almost like there's something to that, right? So join the public sale. So they're doing a public sale, I guess. It says it's live. Can we go buy publicly right now? Enter the sale portal. Let's see what happens. USDC to Kai. Let's say, can we put an amount? Connect with Sonar. Oh, no. We would connect with a wallet. Let's just use like a random wallet that doesn't have anything in it. Of course, I got to log in. All right. I was wondering how much you'd get for like $100, but we're going to move on from that. Not the most highly relevant thing that we need to do. Whoa, what's that? If you know, you know. And then what else was highly relevant here? I think that was it for once. There wasn't a lot of stuff that we needed to go over, even though I was gone yesterday. All right, so we're on top of things here. Let's get to the educational part of this show. Let's talk about Richard Heart. Who doesn't want to talk about Richard Heart? I know Campsta, he really wants to know who the heck Richard Heart even is. Chocolate Salty says, no, I think he's an absolute grifter with a smooth tongue. Okay. Okay, I read that. But I'm over-invested, so I'm trying to pump my bags. He knows how to scam pump when the time comes, though. I mean, if history serves you well, he should be able to get you out of this at some point. But he's been very quiet, like somebody said earlier. So, that was J-Dub. He's been very quiet recently. So, he's going to need to come back out and start talking if we want to have some hope, right? Man, that coin, the Hello Kitty coin has been all over the place. I think it's probably going to dump on us. All right. So, Richard Heart conversations usually collapse into two competing identities. One side sees a visionary founder who delivers working cryptocurrency products despite years of hostility. He's an overcomer. The other see a master promoter whose marketing, claims, and public image make the entire ecosystem impossible to trust. Neither response evaluates the complete picture, though. And we're going to evaluate the complete picture, right? That's what we're into. So separate the ecosystem into 4 layers. Richard Heart as a person and a communicator, the technology he helped create, the economics and distribution of the token, and the behavior and durability of the community. Evidence from one layer can inform another layer, but it cannot automatically answer every question. The payoff here is this framework allows us to acknowledge functioning technology without endorsing everything that the founder claims. It also allows us to criticize the founder without pretending that criticism alone proves code does not work. That gives us a more honest starting point for this entire week series. Richard Heart is both the founder and the brand. So he's kind of everything here. And him being quiet is probably having an effect on price action for his creations. Some founders attempt to make themselves less important as their network matures. Richard Heart took the complete opposite approach. His personality, interviews, appearances, and confrontational communications became a major part of how people discovered HEX and PulseChain. He's the marketing engine and the face of it. That preceded extraordinary name recognition. He got real famous for it. It also means that outside audiences frequently encounter Richard Heart before they understand any of the technology about HEX. We kind of did it the opposite way, right? We kind of started talking about the PulseX exchange and Pulse blockchain and HEX. I put that in the opposite order. We did it the other way around. Anyways, HEX and T-shares, we did all of that first, and now we're talking about Richard Heart. Either way, it's a dime a dozen if you ask me how you do it. When the founder becomes the primary doorway into an ecosystem, though, every strength and weakness of that founder becomes attached to the final product. Outrage marketing converts criticism into distribution. Think about it, yourself. What are the pluses and the minuses, the pros and the cons of using an outrage or aggressive marketing strategy? There might be people who think you're a bullshitter that'll still invest in it just because they think that you're good at bullshitting, right? That is also very popular. Outrage marketing attempts to do something impossible to ignore. And I would say if you were there at the time where Richard Heart was creating tons of noise, then yeah, he did that. He definitely got people going, and getting people going got people posting, right? And it's on Radium at 12 million. All right. So the process works like this. Make an extreme or provocative statement. I don't know why my brain didn't want to work there. Critics share it because they're offended. This is the formula to winning social media in today's environment. I hate it, and I honestly don't really participate in it, because I'm not going to just say random crazy things on the internet just for people to follow me. Supporters then defend it, right? Creating all of this controversy. Both sides distribute the founder's name, right? Whether you're supporting it or criticizing it, you're saying his name. Some portions of the audience investigates the product, aka somehow comes into buying. This creates an enormous amount of attention without purchasing traditional advertising. The risk is that controversy can lead to more memorable than actual product, right? Can become more memorable than the actual product. So the controversy people remember, and then they don't even remember what the controversy was about, just the people involved. The luxury image has two competing interpretations. Supporters may interpret public displays of luxury as proof of personal success, a deliberate attention strategy, a rejection of traditional expectations, and evidence that Heart does not seek establishment approval. Critics may interpret it as that same representation as wealth-based persuasion, status signaling aimed at investors, a distraction from economic questions, and an attempt to connect token ownership with personal enrichment, aka he made a lot of money off everybody. The image itself is visible. The disagreement concerns what image communicates and whether that communication is responsible. Do you follow? Do you understand? Chris Goss 333, fellow lifer in the house. Toast. As I sip my coffee. So, the official HEX material says that Richard Heart is in it for the glory. That statement can be interpreted positively. Reputation gives him personal incentive to keep his projects functioning. It can also be interpreted negatively. Someone seeking recognition may prioritize, a spectacle, dominance, and attention over restraint. I don't know, choosing his words carefully. The educational lesson is that stated incentives should never be accepted at face value. Ask whether the person's behavior consistently aligns with the stated motivation. Basically, is he doing the things that he says he was going to do over years and years and years time span? At first, with somebody, it can be very hard to tell if they're going to do what they say they're going to do. But that breaks down as years and years and years go on, right? Because it's like, okay, you've been saying you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and now it's been 8 years. It's been 5 years, or even 3 or 4 years. It's like, okay, my confidence in you is going to dwindle a lot every 6 months, right? With vice versa, you make a lot of big claims and you actually launch stuff and you actually have functioning product, well, then my confidence in you goes up next time you say you're going to do something crazy. A functioning product does not evaluate every claim. HEX's contract can function exactly as designed while its price declines. PulseChain can continue producing blocks while PLS struggles. PulseX can process swaps while PulseX fails to appreciate. And technical operations prove that the system operates. It does not automatically prove a fair valuation. Sustainable demand, accurate marketing, healthy distribution, sufficient liquidity, or future adoption. Those are very different things, and this distinction protects us from confusing product uptime with investment performance. This is pretty saucy. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Throw a 111 in the chat if you like this series this week. A controversial founder does not automatically invalidate the code, though. Just because he gets up here and he says something crazy doesn't mean he might not have himself or instructed others to build something amazing using the code, right? It's very, very hard for a lot of people to separate those kind of things, though, right? It's very hard for them to look at one and not imply the other. If they like Richard Hart, then what he does is good. If they don't like him, then what he does is bad. What if we all decide we don't like Richard Hart, but his product is very well designed and lives on and does really well as it was intended to do? Not price, but functioning as it's supposed to. Then how hard can you harp on him? The opposite mistake is equally important. Disliking Richard Hart's personality does not reveal whether HEX calculates its rewards correctly. PulseChain produces a valid block. PulseX executes swaps, validators secure the network, smart contracts contain administrative controls, and users maintain custody of their assets. Those questions require technical and on-chain evidence. Personality can affect adoption or risk, but it can't replace technical analysis. Number 7. Richard Hart creates both a founder premium and a founder discount. A founder premium can come from loyal users, right? People who like what he's saying, community coordination, free social distribution, strong brand recognition, right? Long-term conviction and continued attention during weak markets. A founder's discount can come from reputational controversy, reluctance from exchanges and data platforms to put HEX on the main page or really out at all, developer hesitation, regulatory attention, institutional avoidance, or key person dependency. The ecosystem perceived value becomes something like product evidence plus strong community plus founder premium minus the founder risk. You may follow that, you might not follow that. If you don't, well, it's okay. We're going to keep raising that crypto IQ. We cannot calculate what formula precisely, but it helps explain why the same person can strengthen and weaken an ecosystem at the exact same time, simultaneously. Technical decentralization is not social decentralization. They're not the same thing. And we're going to break this up a little bit. Let's go do our top gainers, top losers, and just take a deep breath. Let me look at the chat. Feel like I've been talking at 100 miles an hour. Blues Guy, welcome in, welcome in. I know you don't have the best internet where you are. It says, hey, you guys, about the Flare ecosystem. Hi, everyone. Hi, Richard Hart. No hard feelings, buddy. That's funny. UG, my man, good to see you. Good to see you as well, Blues Guy. Welcome in. He says, blessings and gratitude to all undergrounders. If you don't know, Blues Guy is a mod. And he's been here consistently for a very long time. But where he is right now and things he's doing, he's making moves and he doesn't have the best internet. So you will see a lot more of him at a later date. But he's here right now. Curve DAO, 11%. Build on, 11%. WorldCoin, 8.7%. ICP, 8.4%. Let's go to losers here. KDO, 5%. Pi Network, 4% to the downside. And Render, down 3%. The losers are not so bad. I mean, when your top loser of the day is only 5%, not so bad, and your top gainer is much higher, like double or more, then you're doing pretty all right. I can't get too upset at that. Oh, yeah, we're in those low volume hours. All right. Yeah, none of these doing amazing right this moment. Mike, do we double down? I'm only down $1. All right, moving on. I did want to break it up, but I don't want to break it up too much because we have quite a bit to cover here, and I don't want to make the stream longer than it should be. There we are. Too many tabs. All right, so number 8, technical decentralization is not the same thing as social decentralization. HEX may continue operating without Richard Heart because it's a smart contract. It's immutable. It doesn't need Richard Heart to hit buttons on his computer to make it work. That doesn't mean that the HEX community and price narrative or public identity is independent of Richard Heart. Those are two totally different things. Similarly, PulseChain validators can produce blocks without asking Richard Heart for permission, while the ecosystem still depends on him for public attention, community confidence, narrative direction, brand legitimacy, and response to controversy. Meaning when people bring controversy, they kind of need Richard Heart to stand up and address it. Otherwise, the critics gain a lot of momentum. A network can be technically decentralized while remaining socially centralized. A community can become part of a defense system. When an ecosystem is repeatedly attacked, supporters become accustomed to defending it. That can produce strong community bonds, better technical knowledge, greater resilience, and continued activity during a difficult market. I would say we're in a difficult market. But it also can produce automatic rejection of any criticism, personal attacks against outsiders, selective interpretation of evidence, and dependency on approved community narratives. Basically, it can turn into mob or hive-mindedness with blinders on and they can't see anything but what fits the narrative. The healthiest community is not one that eliminates disagreements. It's one that is capable of answering disagreements with evidence. And that can lead to the community becoming far more knowledgeable about how things work. That can be a plus. They can raise that crypto IQ just because of that. Regulatory uncertainty increases founder risk. The installed Clarity Act matters because clear laws reduce dependency in individual interpretations. Without clear market structure, legislation, regulators, and courts may examine how a token was distributed to see if it is a security, what founders promised, whether buyers expected profit. I mean, what buyer doesn't expect profit? Whether a managerial group remains active, how decentralized the network became, and whether marketing targeted American investors. That means founder communication is not merely a branding issue, it can be part of a legal and regulatory analysis. Let's go into this next part here. Weekly topic education section. I've had this running for a little while, and sometimes I do this with you guys, and sometimes I don't. A lot of times it's actually for me. Oh, it says it's a test too. I don't know why it threw that word in there. I did not prompt it to do that. So when we're breaking this down, right? Whenever a controversial person launches a cryptocurrency, blockchain, whatever, examine the layers separately. Layer 1 is the person itself. Layer 2 is the product. Layer 3 is the token. And layer 4 is the community. So first you want to look at the person. Who's the founder? Then you want to look at the product that they're going to be founding. And then you want to look at the token, the actuality of the product, or the token that's associated with the product. It's tokenomics, stuff like that. And then the community. Is the community weak? Is the community strong? Is the community going to really get together and move this thing and talk about it on social media? Or is it crickets over on social media for the community? I can breathe. How's everybody doing? Let me look at this chat. I had a ton of fun. Blues Guy says, I'm here in spirit and near Seattle. Love the mountains and wildlife. Very soothing. I'll be in Sunshine State soon. Let's go. That's super bullish to me. I hope you're having a great time on your adventures, man. I really do. And we'll catch up again soon. We caught up the other day, so we're not behind. We're not behind. But we'll catch up even more the other day. Shout out to Godel. Right? Just because I like Godel, that's why. What other reason do I need to shout out Godel? It's a fun protocol. It's a lot like Or. Or went to $1,500 a coin. Godel, I think it's been as high as like 20. It's at $1.58 right now. If you understand, then you understand. I don't know if I've really done tokenomics, though. I kind of want to compare. Godel Gang NFTs, they give you more percentage on staking. Okay, so we don't have a market cap for Godel. Why? Yeah, I know how to calculate it. It's because we don't have a circulating supply. Huh. So we have a max supply of 280,000, which is super small. Like, it's so small. Like, it's very, 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 very small. Really good for tokenomics. But we don't know how many is in circulating supply. Is it 200,000, 260? Is it fully vested? That's a problem. If we knew one of these numbers, well, I guess we'd need to know both numbers. Well, if we had the price and the circulating supply, we could figure out the market cap. Or if we had the market cap and the price, we could figure out roughly the circulating supply. But we don't have any of that. So maybe Prime Minister can give us that at some point. But here's the project I'm kind of comparing it to, because it's very much the same thing. Or did blow up. It's way down, obviously. It was at about $1,500 at one point. Let's look at the all-time high. All-time high, $1,451. It's pretty close to $1,500, right? Way more than it is right now. All-time low was $6.27 about 11 months ago. Now, I'm not going to go into the website and all that stuff. Or has 27 million in it. It's got 3 million max supply. So think of the difference. It has a max supply of 3 million, where Godel has 280,000. But the circulating supply is much closer, right? Circulating supply, 482,000. Almost 483,000. So again, take 483,000 divided by 27 million. You get $55 per unit. The point is, these are very similar projects, and you could see it with some adoption go on a crazy run, and I'm here for it. I also just really like the product and the project, and I just wanted to shout it out to everybody. Let's see where Rush is. Ooh, only at, cheap shovels. Let's get in here. Let's do this. All right. Want to let it get to really close to 30 seconds here before we actually buy a shovel. And I don't know how long this person has been sitting on here, so let's find out. Bang. So I bought a shovel. I get to be the leader. It would be super, super freaking awesome if I won this while I was streaming. Now, they could kick me off again before I even get a roll. They have changed this a little bit. It used to have a countdown, and when it hit the countdown, it would roll. Now it randomly rolls after 30 seconds, but between 60 seconds, or like 64 seconds or something like that, because I've seen it go past 60, a minute and 1 second, right? So we're past 60 seconds here. Very interesting. But I did want to get in on, definitely want to get in on the shovels early, because the shovels pay a dividend, and I've gotten paid. I spent $60 on shovels one time, and I got a dividend of about $75. So I made money off of it. I'm willing to buy like 2 or 3 shovels. To really get paid off of the shovels dividend, you really need this to, like, you need to get in early, like when shovels are under $2, and it needs to run to at least probably like 10 sol, 11 or 12 sol, for you to really get past what you put in. And then it could go to 60 Sol. The one that I made money off of, it went to like 60 Solana in the prize pot. It was pretty cool. Again, I'm still sitting as the leader here. That's pretty cool. Oof. Yeah. Getting whooped on that one. Let's see what happens. I knew when Kitty was at like 19,000, I was like, ugh, I never buy things that high. I should have held off. I would have been buying in right about now. And then I wouldn't have bought it. It would have ripped to like $1 million. That's just how that goes. What is mine at? Are they really letting me sit on this thing? Oh, that's why. Because everybody's chasing this big Godel jackpot. And that includes me. I am also going to be chasing this. I want to be mining. Make sure I am mining. What do I got? I got 229 rounds. So hopefully we can hit this jackpot within there and I'll get a nice payout. And this is how I got to actually sit on here before. Was just a simple fact that everybody was hyper focused on the mine. That's kind of my strategy, although I haven't really been watching to execute my strategy. I'll probably buy 3 shovels. I'm not going to buy 10 shovels. That's just a little bit too much. I'll buy 3 shovels. How about that? Let's see if we can get this. I would love to hit a jackpot. What is this thing? It's almost 200 bucks. If I hit 200 bucks live, all you guys better go check out Godel. It's a Solana project too, by the way. So all you need is like a Solana wallet. Nothing crazy. Soulflare, Jupiter, something like that. Nice pump on hype. I love this coin. All right. You day trading it? Are you on perps? Are you perpetually trading it? Whoa, this looks like some kind of scammer here. But I don't remember buying this, and it seems like it's real. But the buy doesn't show a bubble of Axiom, and I haven't used anything else other than mining a tiny bit and a bit of Crash on Soul Pump. It's this wallet, and the coin is this. You guys are the only people I consider trusting in crypto I can afford. Okay. Just totally lost my shoe. I don't even know where it went. He caught the bottom 26. Hey, good for you, Camsta. I haven't seen you here in a while, so I'm glad to hear that you're still at it, you're still learning, and you're still hitting it. Are you watching the Lifers channel in the morning? Or were you... I'm trying to remember. You were a lifer, right, Camsta? Let's see what the Soul was at. Yeah, 1.4 thousand for the jackpot and Soul. These are 2 different jackpots. And then Godel jackpot is at 4.2 thousand. So people are going at it right now. I'm in it for at least 218 rounds. I'm hoping we could hit it in that time period. No guarantee. And congrats again, Camsta. Well done, well done. Did you figure out who Richard Hart was? I can't get to the lifer. I'm working. No, I was actually you that introduced me to the lifer. All right, all right. I would watch him if I could. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think he could help you with a lot of what you're doing for sure. I think you would like his style a lot. But yeah, well, if I introduced you to the lifer, then I'm pretty proud of that because the lifer has done a lot for me. I've been with, following his teachings for years. All right, and this is what this thing does too. It's not the most like exciting visual thing to watch 24/7, but we could win like $200. This person right here just won, and I'm pretty sure I pretty much watched them hit that. Look at this. They won $600. Then before that they had won $152. Before that they had won $475. Before that they had won $151. So there's no shortage of this guy winning well over $1,000, more than that. Crypto big shot, yeah. A007 Zoe in the house. Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here. You've made it to the Underground Crypto Hangout part of the night. We've been talking about Richard Hart. I don't think you've been here much this last week. We did HEX PulseChain, PulseX, the marketplace, right? Like PancakeSwap or Uniswap, but for PulseChain. And Richard Hart is really the spokesperson. He's the guy everybody knows associated with HEX. He's the creator, the founder, if you will. He's the Charles of Cardano is Richard Hart to HEX, right? And we're just kind of introducing you guys to him on a Monday, kicking off the streams, a follow-up to last week's stream. Oh, I've been watching from my MetaQuest. That's what's up, bro. A MetaQuest? That's dope. What's the one that Apple came out with? Apple came out with one. That thing was like $3,000. But that's dope, man. That's right. You have been watching. You definitely commented a few times last week. Oh, you even sent in a super chat. What am I talking about? I remember that. Thank you for being here. And what are you up to? How are you doing in the market in regards to things? Are you buying some spot bags? You excited about any projects? Double O Zoe, what have you been doing? You just been sitting on the sideline waiting for the bags to pump? You been researching anything? Playing any DeFi games? I know I've been playing tons of DeFi games, right? And we're going to bounce back and forward to that, but let's go check out Chainers. Secret treasure is yours. Beneath the hidden waves. Ancient manuscripts. You hold the key. Let's fish it. I don't know what this means at all. Makes me nervous. Complete all steps and receive guaranteed rewards. Some kind of campaign. Connect to Zeely. I don't know what that means. How it works. Finish all the missions. Well, what are the missions? Like, are the missions like, go here and buy this? Twitter follower. Discord. I mean, I've already done all that. Make purchase with external currency of at least $5 and leave your Chainer wallet below. I don't know what the heck this is about. We're going to not bother with that. Oh, they kicked me off. This guy always coming and kicking me off. I don't know what his deal is. I'm like, let me cook. Let me win. I want to win something. He's got deep pockets, though. I don't think I can run him off. He's even got staked Godel. 950 unrefined Godel. Apple Vision Pro. Yep. I've been making a few trades and buying a little spot. Hey, that sounds like a pretty good time if you ask me. I haven't been making any trades. I've been buying spot by building a few spot bags. Not extremely large amounts of money, but trying to really position in good projects, right? Also, just been really bullish on DeFi gaming and some of the games coming out. When the game is good and has amazing tokenomics, I start to think maybe long term, and by long term I mean, 6 months to a year or something, maybe we could really get some traction around this if we keep getting good games out. Yakuman about to get launched, so too bad they don't have those DeFi games for MetaQuest. 26. You drop the money, you buy the shovel, and then they give you a 26 out of 99. Honestly, it doesn't matter. In this game, you rather get 999 and you win, or you don't. I've never won one of these, and I would really like to. But then you get into like a trade war, get into competition with somebody on here, and they just like kick you off repetitively. I gotta keep an eye on it. Chainers for the win. Let's just keep stacking a little bit of BNB. Plant some more stuff. I feel like I plant the same stuff every time. I really need some corn so I can make some feed for these animals. I don't know why they're so against me here. They really want you to spend money to get corn. And I don't want to spend any money. I got in-game currency, and I used up a bunch of it the other day. Just trying to get my second epic plot. I don't think I'll ever be able to afford the legendary plot. All right, here's some BNB. Let's stake it all. Put it all on the line, get some more BNB. All right, there we go. A bunch of things popping up. Let's go over to missions. Hop back over to Goddle. Dang it, he kicked me off again. What is this about? I don't have the I don't got the pockets to fight with him over it, which means he's probably gonna win. One day though, I'm gonna come in there and just assert dominance financially. And hopefully it's profitable for me. Let's go to the map. Let's get our daily rewards here. What are they going to give us today? What is this? Bamboo? I'll take that. Oh no, it's sugar cane. Why does that look like a new backdrop? Get our item here. All right. Gonna get that last shovel in. Be so crazy if I just hit it in one. You know, he'd be so mad. And I'll probably watch this to see if he kicks me off. I don't know if I technically need to watch it because everything's on chain. So we'll do our quick game here. Let's see what we're up to for BNB. 0.0047 BNB. That free BNB. Get this free item real quick. The item the other day was pretty good. And I believe all of this is minted on chain. Pretty sure it is. Need to make it so I can see these positions here. All right. Not paying any attention to what I'm doing. In the beginning of this game, they come out so slow, you almost can let them stack a little bit. There we go. How much is the meta quest? My son's been asking for one. My sister's brother came over and I think let him try it a little bit. Now he keeps asking me for one. But I really don't want to buy one until, and maybe you could tell me, maybe they fixed this, but I want it to, like, when I turn my head, I want it to turn inside the virtual world, you know? Like, I don't want to have to, like, put them on and then I got to use I don't mind using the joysticks to, like, click on things or something, but I really want the experience in virtual reality to be, like, just no controller. I'd rather put, like, you know, like a thin jacket or bodysuit or something on that has, like, a wire in it or some sort, you know, some kind of sensors inside the clothing that measures my movement and translates it to the virtual world. I'd much rather that than have to use those joysticks. But I really don't want to have to use it to turn myself, like, in the direction I'm going. I want to just turn my head and it should turn your vision inside the MetaQuest. Oh, look at that. Not even paying attention. Well past 1,000. Let them take us out here. But yeah, have they fixed that yet? I need to know. I'm asking for a friend there. Ooh, some star anise. Nice. And I'm sure they kicked us off of Goddle. No, he realized that I'm serious about this. Oh, wow. It, like, did it double roll? Like, quick back to back? It's the only good thing about this. So it could roll you pretty quick. 5 people here. Everybody drop a 111 in the chat. Just so I can see that YouTube is not telling the truth. There gotta be more than 5 people here. I'll always be messing around. I don't really care what YouTube says, but I know that there's more than 5 people here. There's gotta be. Everybody abandon me. Are you not entertained? Ah, they kicked me off. And I said I'd only buy 3. I want to buy more, but next thing you know, I'll be $60 deep, and I just don't want to do that again. I really don't. So off to the Sunflower Lands. Melissa says 111. All right. So maybe there is only 5 people here. Then again, I know sometimes, like, 00 Zoe, he's watching somewhere where maybe it's hard for him to type. It's understandable. Struggle hard. All right. All right. There are some people here. I knew YouTube was lying to me. I mean, it's their platform. You're at their mercy, right? And what is even going on with Sunflower Land nowadays? There's so many things going on. Legit. What do they got going on? Wow, some crazy has happened. It's a fishing frenzy. You get a bonus for each fish. Well, sounds like we need to buy some fishing poles. You gotta have a fishing pole for every single time. Let's buy 18 fishing poles. Oh wait, it didn't do it. I hit cancel. I didn't want to cancel. Buy 17 pickaxes. Meant to buy some regular axes. Alright, let's go. What do we got as far as bait? We should have some bait here. I should have some grubs. Where are the grubs? Oh, those are grubs. Alright, we got 12 grubs. We could easily do 5 at a time. Let's do 5 at a time. Let's get in on this fishing frenzy here. Ooh, a new fish I never got before. We'll go check out some quests. Oh, I'm out of grubs. Alright, we'll do another 2. With the grubs, and we'll switch to the earthworms. Now, everything in this game is an NFT, which is pretty dope. And they have a marketplace you can sell everything. I just want to remind people of what makes DeFi gaming really DeFi gaming. Also, share an experience with you. So we were out the other day, and I had to stop. I had ordered a sandwich online. So I was waiting for him to make my sandwich, right? So I take my kid into GameStop, and I'm looking at all the games, everything they got going. And I'm thinking, all you can do is spend money with these games. Like, you can't make no money. I mean, best case scenario with those games, you buy one and in, like, 10 years, 20 years, 30, it's just somehow worth more than you paid for it because it just winds up being a iconic game that you happen to buy. But, like, aside from that, like, all you're ever going to do is spend money. Oh, what is this? Known as the fish of 10,000 casts. This autumn, predator is as fierce as it is elusive. A prize catch for an ambiguous angular. All right, well, we hit the rare one. We got the big fish. Get at it. I caught 2 of them back to back. I thought they were rare. You don't catch a rare fish back to back. On the easiest bait, right? On the least important bait. What do I need here? We need artichokes. Why do I get the feeling that those take forever? Artichokes and yams. I've got the yams. All right, it's a song reference if you don't know. All right, we definitely need some of these axes. Chop down some trees. See what kind of quests we got. I don't think I have any of these. Can we go digging though? And we're rolling into 2 hours of streaming. I like to give you guys at least 2 hours of content, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a week. 12 hours. It's more than an extra shift. I'm here just for you guys. Melissa says playing Kindra. All right, I'll come over there. Let me do some digging here. What are these, clams? What is that? It's funny, I actually need sand. Usually sand is like one of those things you get and you're like, dang it, I got nothing. But I use the crabs in the sand for quests all the time. All right, was that 10? That was 10. Get back home. Now let's move on to the next thing. Let's go hang out with Melissa over on Kindra. Had to hit the update. Apparently you can download Kindra like on your computer. Have you done that, Melissa? I just play it right in the web browser. I prefer it. At this point in time, I think that the install is probably legitimate, but I don't know. I think my computer is freezing. Trying to keep up with everything. There we go. Let's hop into the US server. 1 day streak. Crushing it. What is new? Anything new, Melissa? Anything get rolled out other than this Warscar portal? Let's see who gets here first. Ah, they got there before me. Not fair. Alright, well, let's go take out this boss real quick. I'm like, why am I so broke? It's because I put all my money in the bank. Oof. Oof. This thing just getting absolutely destroyed here. Play a web browser, but can't connect a wallet. Wait, you can't connect a wallet? I'm using Rabby Wallet. There is a racing type kart game coming out. Okay, I'm here for that. Well, how are you playing if you don't connect a wallet? I thought the wallet was like your identity. You're gonna get same thing that happened to me for Panzer Dogs, where at some point they just kind of kick you and they don't have the data anymore, and then all of a sudden you ain't got nothing. Let's put 1,600 gold away. Let's deposit that. See what else we want to deposit here. I don't even know what that said. Oh, Warden Sap. Yep. Keep all of those. I've needed those for different things. Definitely store the chests and the relics. All the epic mats. Store those. Just in case we wipe here, because if we wipe, you lose everything. I don't know if I muted in time. I play through web browser, not through Explorer, through wallet. Huh. I play in the web browser, but I'm on Chrome, browser. But I also use the Rabby wallet to sign in. I created a Rabby wallet just to do this game, since I knew I needed one. And I guess I'm gonna go around and just bully all these big bosses. Alright, we're freezing. Love that. Bought like the 7K sword here. It's super hard for me to get combat XP anymore. Need to buy some more Swift potions. So that's gonna be number one. I really would love to get a mount. We're still in the Vang. I'm like, how do I get a hold of the guild? Is there a guild? I mean, there's gotta be a guild chat, right? The merchant. There we go. He's got the Swift tonics for me. Okay, I just have to click them. You don't like actually let me put in 10 or something. We got 12 of them. Don't want to die and lose 12 Swift potions. That would really suck. Let's go over here. Let's start running some runs here. I guess I should do that. Oh, you're playing on an iPad, not desktop. I always forget that. But Yeah, definitely want to have a wallet connected because you'll turn around one day. Because that's what Panzer Dog did to me. Oh, there you are, Melissa. That's what Panzer Dog did to me. Is I had a bunch of stuff and I would try to connect a wallet all the time. I'd go to collect wallet. It'd say, hey, you have to use the slush wallet or whatever. I'd be like, all right, let me use that. And then bang. It would never work. And then one day they reset whatever they had on their side and I lost everything. And now I basically is like I never played it. I'm realizing I really needed the money. Guess I gotta go with the first one. Why did I put all my money in the bank? I forgot I needed it to run the trade routes. So the longest route I know is from here. Oh, I appreciate you killing everything for me. It's from here through the portal. I don't remember what that portal's called. This one right here. I could go right here, but you get less money. Apparently I need a little bit more money. And I'd love to use these Swift potions. That cuts into my profits. Smash that like button if you're just rolling through. This is Kindra. After we hit this, I gotta go. Oh no, I don't have to go. I was gonna say I was gonna go see if I'm still up on the board at Godel, but no, I'd already been kicked off that. That thing just seems impossible to win. Unless you're gonna sit there and really spend some money. Alright, not getting attacked. Oh, why did I do that? Just trying to look around. It's a pretty good run. Run over here. Get paid for the trade route. Defeat the boss. I don't know how you're leveling so quickly, Melissa. I level so slow in this game. 2800 XP. I mean, you literally need like 66,000 XP just for this level. Want to trade? Okay, let's trade. What you got? What you got? You want some tendies? I got some tendies for you. The Kindra crates. I got a lot of health potions. I mean, do you want anything? I have a feeling you're just giving it to me. I'll take them, but I'm pretty good on that. Do you get something? Do you get XP when I beat the boss? All right, let's run another trade route here. What do we got? Oh, I don't think I have enough gold to run the other one. We'll run this one. Oh, dang. Are we not in a party? Maybe we should be in a party. Maybe if we were in a party, you would get some XP. I don't know if it would really benefit you. I can't stand going so slow. How'd you get the the blue guy? Also, what is that? Is that a mount? There we go. Yo, he never grabbed the package? So confused. I thought I had a package. Maybe it's just not in his hands. Usually he's like holding it in his hands. What is even going on anymore? Yeah, it's a mount. Where do you get the mount at? Can you use the mount when you're doing the trade route? Or does it like take you off of it when you're holding the boxes? Okay, so I was doing a trade route. I just wasn't holding the boxes. I think we got him. I think he's done. Claim that. We got 1.4. Now we can do the bigger trade route. Let's do the bigger one. Feel like they make you extra slow. So wait till they attack me to there it goes. Throw on my speed boost. That way they can't hit me, these little bandits. Oh, you're not sure how you got it? I've noticed a lot of the high levels have them, so I wondered if you just got it at a certain level or something. And I noticed they all have like the same one as you do. And this boss doesn't look like he has regenerated yet. Oh, wait, there he is. All right, made a little bit of profits there. Let's take this guy out. This is kind of my routine here. I just run this back and forth until I hit my daily trade. Let's see, where are we at? Now I'm pretty close. 1,800 out of 2,000. Boss purse? Guess that's how much money you get from a boss. They have a lot of limitations on everything in this game. It's very interesting. Done. Yeah, certain level. I figured that. I'd love to sit here and keep playing this, but I do have to wrap up the stream. Just because I got a bunch of shipping to do again today. Got a bunch of shoes that need to get shipped. Of course, the post office was closed today. I don't know why. Not the regular post office. I go to like a, like a privately owned one. And they were closed today for some reason. I don't know if it was like a holiday. Oh, I didn't pick one up. I didn't grab the package. I'm going to hop off, actually. I don't know why I bothered to walk back to the town. So I don't even need to do that. I just go home. My little box in the sky. Oh, and I can even see you. But can you see me? It's my sword just like floating in the air. Why they did this, I have no idea. Anyways, you know what it is. Stay underground, stay crypto. Thank you for being here. Learned about Richard Heart today was a lot of fun. This week we're going to be kind of focusing on Richard Heart, the founders, comparing Richard Heart to other founders. Maybe some of his best clips, most controversial clips, controversial moments, that kind of thing. And it's going to be a great time. So catch me again tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. New York time. Till then, stay underground, stay crypto, think long term. Thank you for the stream, says Stregaheart. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for being here to the end of the stream. MVP points for you for that. And I'm going to go run along and do what I need to do for some business, some shipping. And everybody stay blessed. Underground Crypto out. Catch me in the Discord if you need me.